My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, see them yopo.
Be the reason why.
But why has there not been any official statement?
I think the security agencies and so can do the public a lot of good.
Yeah, but there's narrative said 2 cars, the police for 10 fully armed.
By letting us know the reason TIA day yakosone patch. Obi me there. I think so be obey wadwene say obe sumo man in any capacity no. I was so young so join funu any kwan so usuro sekan. Inherent in the quest to serve in a public capacity, no, is the duty or the responsibility to open yourself up for accountability when called upon.
Yeah.
Obviously, undi bonia police ni ba when day undane. What I say, and there are several occasions and go for some of maya abayi ba no fee say omujumedie no bibi e torchma or de omo ekugina se ni bia omuwie ye omufa omuhu di ya na omuhu yesu te sa abrobe. It is a free or man for so mumra na or more emebu or mujumedi and wakonta. That in and of itself no should not raise an alarm, and as I should not create any uneasiness within the opposition. Say day tata or moncroft for ebia emreko anymore yokwa ede bail some at all so I court accord bevari. Dr. Bawumia yakofre also PDS the oye woman be yanwa emma ne amanfo nkokase sebi political witch hunting because on manpanyin mahama kra ebas ye de no koma special prosecutor obi meboa enti accountability there o ye public servant under no circumstances na was also accountability and Ghana ye kabiba min kabina nyina duru ba bi say what you say so adia one institution anye no you have every right to go and mumu be avail himself of that particular service, no. You the bail conditions have been varied. So what is the issue? No, I'm a person say Ghana, we have our democracy is so entrenched, our legal system is so matured and developed. Say at every point in time, you know where to go for an appropriate remedy. Onye bone obebu obedi omai so anase ye de omai jumadi bi shawon sa onye bone na ya chew ya say sansa ye mpe wa asem anti ye de ukotumu anase entimi nsi ya chew you are afforded all the procedural safeguards that an accused person is entitled to under Article 19. You have a right
in this case you don't do that. You don't respect their rights to for example, I mean the issue of extraordinary bail conditions. And Dr. Bawumia even referred to that in his statement.
Say, no, na make say. So as some no more can obi who your lawyer wouldn't say the bail sum more or less is dependent on the amount involved in that whole criminal enterprise. What
is that always?
That is supposed to be. Na say ye bail sum. Na bail sum no so onerous and excessive as to amount to a constructive refusal of bail. You have every right to go to court for a variation. Obi meboa. You have every right. Kofi Juma de ya de to ne so a yes yes swing. Or court.
It's been varied.
It has been varied. So what is the issue? On your master more can obi. And no na me so say on that basis intino they are being denied their rights under Article 19. I think sir, it is not correct. One, Obi Ayachini is being granted the right to a fair trial. Obi Meba is being granted to a right to a fair trial. Obi Ayachinwa, you didn't have a kangaroo process. Obi are entitled to legal representation. Have that right been denied? No. Obi are entitled to be afforded adequate facilities to be able to establish his defense. And you know your friend of pre-trial disclosures court say ansan ye baba bedi wasam kra no enyina so ana dance bia o mind word dey bon ko aduru yam fama enti die enti na obi betimi aka say under the current say o dey yam fa dey so EOCO e dey bail some at all so na so wo court accord be vary what you say so adia one institution anye no you have every right to go and mumu be avail himself of that particular service. No, you the bail conditions have been varied. So what is the issue? No, me person me say Ghana, we have our democracy is so entrenched, our legal system is so matured and developed. Say at every point in time, you know where to go for an appropriate remedy. But that should not be used as a justification. Say any crime say will be a way because if you want someone more can yes say. A Japadia be an a woggy hawk, no one for quite so sebi, a ledo, so what on a de aman home. Now what you be no say a branch here, the who see Kruma was a Sikaya day, a woo bottom, into give up.
I don't almost say the matters has got to do with a Bosso glass factory. And
only a one bit of it. And at the other bit, and then you say branch here, the who see Kruma now what you be, I will say Sikawo bottom, till now what you be a no share. Near Yisika between 40,000 to 150,000. All of that are alleged. Send some way you no cry. Obi untimin kase. Sebi meme to me social investment fund. Sika any coin say me fana me yesi wuntino me say na what you be a inchama me na ban bia ba no hwema untimin kase a political witch hunt. What I say? And na wo ya na mrani so mu na mrani wudi a. Untimin kase sebi wanyini na wo ye dey. Wo yare amani ama hunu yemfa nya dey yemfa tutuka. What I say? Yo wura bia a friend Victor Salome. Brëàking people for din asem no na koma sebi kra say ya de afidie na bua no mane home. So when people for hu ni mobo ye de ni ko gina because almost the law is no respecter of persons. What you say? Enti media the American say MPP baby omo woyi omo gina from. They are standing in a sinking sand, in a quicksand. Now wo gina from na obi use apepre a obemem. What you say? Which na from na opese opia. E was say abutre na wo ye oniama kakra niama mo be ye wo Ghana and it's fresh in the minds of Ghanaians. And nunti and in the history of Ghana must suffer the worst and most humiliating defeat. And yes, Ghana for Sebi Obi 1.7 million obi ani wa lose by that margin that. And yes, Ghana for Sebi omo yes ade no mo nim de omo ye o. Se mo betimi aya ma mo ho mubetimi adware ama mo ho asafi ama Ghana fo age mo atoma e wo samo sesama kwan mama nya mo adwe sa de no amoye ya ye to obetu am na no na mo be mo ye sa de a ene mo amujejireje.
I mean, I say, let me read some few messages and then I come back here. Any other business near the common by here. WhatsApp number or messenger 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Obi, what makes these arrests bad and condemnable? Is it selectivity and abuse? Even as we speak, there are many people who support this government and are always using insulting language and abusive utterances on the opposition and other people, including past presidents, chiefs, and yet there's never been any arrest. If someone allegedly referring to judges as political is tantamount to the arrest, then the entire communicators for the NDC should be in prison by now. What didn't they say, including JM himself, about judges? Abbas should know that if there is a leader who is indecisive, then it is John Dramani Mahama, who even wrote in his book that he's always had challenges being decisive in making right decisions. JM's actions are not the standard for Bawumia. That's why Dr. Bawumia doesn't mount stages to use insulting language on people who disagree with him. Starsky all the way from the US of A. And on the way, a brain Starsky Yadase. Obi, Abbas Nuruddin Esquire must withdraw his statement that Dr. Bawumia does not have a sense of direction and that he is like Atentehu. This is an insult in the Akan language. This sort of communication must be stopped. The security operatives picked someone up just recently because he described an MP or DCE not fit for his position. Abbas too must be picked up ASAP. Gusty man. Ewo brekum. And on the way, a free ho, a brain. Gusty man. Yadase. Papa. We say, Obi, tell Abbas that when the table turns, he should repeat what he just said. We're a different person. We say, Obi, I wonder the comment Honorable Akwesiakwa will make on how NDC is arresting NPP members. He is treating NPP members the same way
in the branch election
in Achim Oda. I'm a victim because I criticized him and demanded for the promises he made to us, even on your show. My name is Emmanuel Kra. And the honorable way about her and the way you know am I very well. We say Obi, we were in this country when lawyer Sami Jemfi threatened some police and military officers that they will be their tenure is coterminous with that of the president. And other HFSK ewa Dan Suman and on the way a praying. Obi, tell lawyer Abbas Nuruddin to leave Dr. Bawumia alone because they did more than this in opposition. Obi, good evening. I am an NPP member, but I really like how the NDC gentleman speaks the local language. He can pull up for the communications director for the NDC. Abbas is tough. T4 or in Sawim and on the way a praying. Obi, good evening. A whole John Dramani Mahama called a sitting Chief Justice the woman organizer of the NPP. Do you remember unanimous FC2 Kofi from Koforidia Odie Enono? Obi, you sit there and cannot correct Abbas on the many falsehood he's peddling on your platform. He mentioned Muntie 3 that it happened under Dr. Bawumia, which is blatant falsehood. Please correct him. In Wadosti from Osino. That is not true, Ankasa, but that's fine. Let's move on. Obi, the CID boss and some judges were threatened by other journalists. What is the man talking about? Okay. Let me continue. Where's the Obi? I pity lawyer Abbas Nuruddin, an appointee expressing such endorsement to these unlawful arrest of former appointees. He should be mindful that he is equally a candidate for the same arrest as soon as the government changes. As for reasons for the arrest, the government at that time will use Raymond Archer's method and bail conditions for him. May God be with him. Silas upon Odie. Bawumia say, he said those in charge of making the laws work should do it as the process is mandated. So what is Abbas Nuruddin talking about? Gamel or Ewutu Obrachere and I will know the way I bring lot and lot of your message, but Yemreno Echo, Honorable Alexander Akwesi Aqua.
We say the Wokai, why
almost say Oka Assembly. Na impugn criminality. Nipa no wo ho kwan say we yi no ho no. Say ne Abbas kai say
sure.
Yet you obi say or say insase a ye to one kind of first lady ehun wom. That one it borders on criminality. The first lady no be per se obi to anamo bi na ne di ho.
And then once you know for defamation ye kwache no.
Oh, because it depends on what method you want to take. Me, in my case, I have a radio station. And then this gentleman alleged, say, radio station now an illegal connection. So that's it. So I task my manager to go and report himself. Because per who I am, my radio station doesn't have to do illegal connection. It, you know, my manager reported himself at the police station and said, "Wait na yaka." And you see this gentleman, no, your dear baby, because what court, ya crying, say, ma and some no boko, and one sign bond.
Okay,
say, because he is on record to have said, say, also no me more mortuary near. Otimika se me tom parts.
Otoni papa.
And the wakansem.
Wakansem.
The hotel some watch him down.
It is sending in an embassy machine as well. Kabadi some quote or the baby cry.
But no, but no, the new quantity a channel. Law, no, borders
defamatory.
Is defamatory in nature, and the remedy lies in civil law.
But you see, even
but, you know, and that's why the conversation around the Electronic Communications Act and even Act 29, because once there is an offense in Act 29, it covers our DNA. It leaves the person with options. For example, if nipa na ka say o ton nipa part, a publication of false news. In this case, they intended to create fear and panic. It can come under Act 29, which will be criminal. It depends on, and that's why we can say, going forward, maybe we should, if we really want to ensure freedom of speech, but that would also mean freedom of speech without any safeguard, then we should even repeal section 208 in Act 29 and also look at section 78 or 7 in the Electronic Communications Act and also about publication of false news through any electronic medium. And I know it has been criminalized even in the Electronic Communications Act. It said it throws out options for you.
Go beyond that because see, managing or operating a morgue is a legal business.
Absolutely.
What I say, and my business is separate from my personality, and it borders on confidence. It is that is it. You understand?
First thing I was say, Otnas now here, say, Ampaniampa, and Penifo Yadio Maya Nitiamra Nitiamra, as will be a meme say, and maybe bedra, medi minus or no. I was say, Ubia DNA Tiamra, Menkas or Yama Manu Kuni intino. Chenchina, Menkokati Yano because or ya MPP ni na Nemo fetching will be anti. Any kinds of boom brasso I did. And na media Yama hopa ye Abronya or refer to woman. Because I dear Abronya, I know very grievous. Abronya Koya dear, he's bringing the whole administration of justice into disrepute. Abronya ko threaten judge.
Yeah, but it remains an allegation. Which has to be proven in court.
Abronya, say no near dia sonimu. You see, Abronya ko threaten judge or tie dwamu so your political judge. Na judge atare hye kram MPP atare no de won twan obede obehu. Asa threaten police. So mo your political police no mo ntwan obehu. Ye wo kromo ha. Emre bi dru under MPP. Yes, owura bi a friend no hene babo amabene okay.
Yes.
No war a year TVSYZ and then another Dr. Bawumia or vice president too. Yes, say Wakoka say a year Wakofre justices are no moody 2020 election petition, no unanimous FC. Now money Kufuado Croatia and son of mobile the judgment. Yes, Wakoya dear a scandalized court, no Wakoka someone bring the administration of justice into disrepute. Ye chain we jail 3 years obi meboa na sabre na Dr. Bawumia na vice president o and now be your opposition leader Abronya akọ committee a similar offense o ye vice president obi ko ye bia ye jail no and the wo as opposition leader no o see sense Abronya hu ofeche obi enti no boni a obi
be contempt na nye 3 years
3 weeks they say 3 weeks.
Okay, yes.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. You jail in 3 weeks.
Sure.
And yet the longevity of the sentence, no. Name the fact that you have even been convicted, no. What you say? Adia will be quiet, you jail no. And the Dr. Bawumia will say MPP ni akoye. Am I in jail because of MPP ni? Now that is what he's saying.
No.
And no na ma no ti the whole part and say. And the whole leadership as president, you know. So we got threatening judge, ube jana manako. That is the implication, right? Senko limited no to David Sando Dianokra because now the details are a bit sketchy. What you say? And then Dr. Bawumia person or try to be threatening judge, I never your MPP near Injano manenko. And no ya dear obi a wo press obeba be di o man so na ya de esesa wo don hukọ for mu ana enu ti na meka say enkofo bi na be ka kire ne say o ya tete MPP for in this one sorry no ameka bi amanfo be ka say you are not in control eh ye wo opposition no ye demonstrations bebre sa major demonstration bebre edumre bia na ye yasa John Mahama mabi o hwe de o de o pa opposition aye call ye no ubetimi aka demonstration ba kwa ye John Mahama as opposition leader obabi none edu ba bia na ye yasa na adenti na nipa ono ne ye konde aye dai ama no ade aye ye no mfa ne ho nye dai enhyem ba edumre bi ne ye ti ase ye se wo ye pani a ye se panyini kon ho ne ye ho akoma wo ye panyini a eniema bebre wo ho a wo yi wo ye dai efrim asema ebeba wo pani no do ano beba betum na wo se ye asema emu eye dai emu odu na wo ye pani wo ye jata na de bia wanim frede wo dwomu a amanfo bebu so wo ye kraman baby ebedura bra wo ye wo pokra wo bia amfiu. That is where Dr. Bawumia is getting to. That's where he's getting to. Obi akotretin judge and I asoni mu and wo kire se yenja na yenja na wo be ma omo de mraye adwuma no a omo protected the sanctity of the court no wo be hold omo accountable. Na Ghana for mo jejireje, is this what an opposition leader is supposed to do? But Obi, let's put the entire conversation even in proper perspective. On my way I will no be ya de mra na etintim mra no on my no na mra no ye de etitim on my no emma ma no fa ahodie bi a saa fa ahodie ne nso no asodie ye dai ewo ho. Obi wo ye lawyer, you know say embedded in the enjoyment of every right are responsibilities. Sure. You can't claim to want to enjoy the right now while turning a blind eye to the responsibilities. It's a right to be any whether right of free speech and any absolute. Obi, even the right to live, the most important, the right to life, it's not absolute. There are instances emra ma ho kwan say yetimi gini pankwa efri nsem meboa ewi ase de na ho hia kyen kwa. So is the right to the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, you know, ewo ba bia ekopem. Se wo kokeka nsem bia betimi atoto o man asomdwe ase ebegu obi ho fi a emra ma ho kwan say esese ye twe waso. Na de ya me ya ne say enye bredi kan a ye de sa de yi eye adwumani. MPP wo ho ana Dr. Bawumia ye vice president no omo de sa niema no eye adwuma. Obi obekai owura bi a friend Bobi ansa wa Accra FM 2022 mu ho yese wakoka se ensase a ye tonton no won kran ha no first lady ehun wo mu bi na no no de koka ayo apolisifoɔ kye no de ne sie be ye nanan ye hwehwe ne ba bia ne ehun no under Dr. Bawumia wanya no nko a journalist bi ani e frɛ no Caleb Kuda obi ukai yese wakotwa apolisifoɔ ka bi a asai si ba bi
okotwa national security
blue gate oni gate bi a yese e frɛ no Zoe Abubedu kwala mrante wa ye chi omu ko hye omu ba bi ye omu yakayaka de under Dr. Bawumia o enya no nko obi ukai mre bi yese nkofo bi muntie 3 obi de na omu ko yeye yase radio so kasa ya na omo kasa na ko tra so ye chi omo de omo court ma obi jeli omo 3 years enya no nko obi Apia Stadium yase wakoka asamba go mampanyina kufu ado ho fi na Dr. Bawumia na vice president ye ko chi no Kumase echekere ne nsa ne night se bia brechire e de ne to pick up boot e drive free crime na Dr. Bawumia ni nyina ye kasa mu mfomso ya o
pick up boot there you are
Obi upa fra Apia Stadium sesi a upa fra me se upa fra Apia Stadium sesi
na order pick up
boot ni adi ni free
from Kumasi to
Accra to Kumasi me say Apia upa fra Apia Stadium sesi ye no so okasa wo social media
so almost train 9 and insa
pick up boot from Accra to Kumasi Obi because yes wa kokasa makasa na ye the atraso na mo abra mo ti akonya so no you punished people for exercising their right to free speech and yamanya de ankoye nenne yabana mo makotena opposition na onkofo enso ekasa ma na traso na emra edi omo a wo se ehunehuna mo basa emfoni ya wutwa kire Ghana fo no se wo pani a eye Dr. Bawumia wo kasa no sebi onu krisa etoso mienu sani American no only principles only moral scruples bi a wo de ye the air politics into bibia ni na mrante be se kokasa na wakokasa bi. I think say it will serve Dr. Bawumia's image. It will do his image a lot of good if he begins to realize say position no kra no mudu na motofo na mrante wa no a ye mrante wa ne de obi ujaya ye betwi ubonga wo because ye wade bia ye friend youthful exuberance ye moja na no ye dey ehye entimpempi no eniema bebre wo ho a ye de akoma na ye de ye wi ansa na ye de ye adwene ho ti abire bi say net e wo say nana akomianom ne chemensa bonsumo ne eye Fredia Fredo Warre nom what you say omo betwa papa ne ho ahia na emma ne nkogugu ne ho ani ma asese so obi akoya ade eti amra obi akoya ade a emre bi obi ye bi a ye de ne tumu na wo se ne obi akoye bi oyo party ni okasa ma onu ne timi di Canada Japan atemo pa emma wo se Canada Japan se bi ekeka ansam ntino wa meka bibia na chese wo betray no a u twamfoni bi dia kire Ghana for say one you are a lawless opposition leader who opposition leader on pese mra ye di abuman no amasumdwe wo mu no on pese betena ho na wo ba on fa mra nye de
but he will not be the first opposition leader speaking in support of the party phobia omonya issues with the state. The record will show say President John Mahama, then opposition leader, had cause to also complain about similar things.
Dr. Bawumia, I am not focusing too much even on the David Sando.
Yes.
Dr. Bawumia Kasano koye generic or kasa in generic terms and anka one name a year specific a year. Just a bronye. The bronye case is a terrible example because Obi. O my mu ade e wa kan ye bom keep a semblance of order e judiciary obi and so obi ko attack judge a wote adwam obi akwa attack judge a wote adwam akan sem a bringing the administration of justice into disrepute na wo kasa ono no ye hunahuna ne yenja no na anyesa wo ba wo be ma omo yesa no ya accountable not just the legal order you keep in society need together no gra no you don't regard it. One say senko ka obi ade corruption issue say na corruption sensem de bia obi say ye witch hunting. What I said that become a sing song for all opposition parties. But there be o ha obi aya wakwa attack judge na ya so ne pechi na wo cite no example as say as an example like say a criminalize free speech. I think say a rehosam. I think say it is the lowest any opposition leader can go, and I think Dr. Bawumia na make us handlers of Dr. Bawumia some way bia kadasin kodua bi na beka ya and Kasala Mustafa bi e na beka ya what you say and can now ye hunu say ye tutu ne srani abasa ye hunu say mfonso bi wom no and kan yam fa ho ntansa ne nyede ye nkopo Dr. Bawumia maso bi kwa ya de we na ukasa ye nya no a esi pa enti me de meka kosia ne say
but in the statement baby en ho ka so munya no a quick correction the muntie trade no mo sentence na 4 months in
4 months yes me 3 months but say 4 months
no ka 3 years bio and the years
na 4 months
4 months sure na nipa no de ba say me kan kire say in that case so no the current vice president intervened for them when they were incarcerated.
She was a sitting vice president
at the time.
He was the president.
No.
Who was?
He was Muntie.
Yes.
Sir, President Mahama
was the president, yes. And then Jane was education minister.
Yes. You see, and also you see, Omono yedi omasem.
Yes.
Yedi omasem no one is a president and education minister. Eko kasai. You bua omofo. Yedi omokotum. And tumuna yedi omokotum no. President and kasa ye do omako ye bua mo for say em for mo nkotumba meja omo omo damu be ye bosome what you say na omo sentence no ye remedy no you get the point ya pardon omo kra from the one say court abua mo for ye jamu the omo ko damu kakra the idea was that adie no omo ye no matumbra right from the get go we will not intervene court abua mo for mo nkodam mo damu kakra the assumption is that we got na baby 30 days 40 days ubesua nyansa nti afa de ye de cha okra wo ba what ya say hwe the other issue ya NDC so to branch organizer 2024 ya no ko 13 Akufo-Addo kakeka nsem basabasa efa Akufo-Addo ho ya de ne court the first week na ye jailing 4 years. I know I'm getting it right. Anya manzo ye jailing 4 years. Ni na ye nsem anipa de na no aka ho. What ya say? Under Akufo-Addo as president, under Dr. Bawumia as vice president. Obi akoka asem wa ye se wa threaten president ye jailing 4 years. And now bro nya ko threaten judge me aso ne pa echa Dr. Bawumia so ye nja no. It is not the best example anybody can say. And me dia me de manusi no. Asem wa me kan say o manyi ye betimi aye ya manyosem. Ye betimi edi ye ho achi ne. Ba ade a ikura ye no eye the legal or the judicial system. To be bia wo be attacking judicial system. He's attacking the very foundation of our society.
Are you saying this as a matter of principle and a matter of convenience? Because the issue of unanimous FC anywhere it was propagated by you and your
American say court etnasena ubua asemwa. We have every right to express our own indignation.
Yes.
Now, right, Adenta court no tena asiwe ye no. Afenyo markings be kasai. Okay. Bafo wu amenhia South MP no be dey be kasai. Omonsem no mo kasai na nye de. It was more or less a harsh criticism of a judgment, By yen so obi apa eche de ntia. Ba wo threaten obi a wo tie dwamu di asem anasa otemwani because of Najuma Oya. You are bringing the administration into disrepute.
Honorable, I'll come back to you. Yes, Honorable. Quick reaction.
The sanctity of the judiciary. Because the whole Chief Justice, Modi Mwenisi no so that more position, Moba Bamu for the first time. Epe Kwabi so a horn no told chain. Sade idea money edi judicial system. Any ubu was here the manua and Kayan Kodesa Sabrino and a mumma the sanctity of the judicial at all form. 2. Sam Mama would ye kay Mama Nankas or the Kadan Casacra could jab a biakabi. President Mahama.
Yeah, I think he already
said one way Ekas or the Akano. One could have a big cracker. It is a Dr. Bawumia Ekabi. Nasa wo kase ase sirihehe anasa so wakoja baby near there nipa no otia konya so as president no kwa no ayeka sase fa no kwa ono akabi e dey asresam so that's here enti no se unya hwenka nasa enne no papa no waye di Dr. Bawumia no waye di for some time now sebe ade we akoso ono no daya no ono no di enim. Who expected so on Canada? Just like you rightly pointed out to him, say, and there may be a air course on bra President Mahama no opposition, and there may be an air course one, and then you know Canada to and will be one more na Okasa. It is a way no the Akosi, I don't know teacher in seminum, and send me a kabum, and I'm a papa natural home statement. It won't he back on Tunchai and can say, wait, dear, that back on the other one, dear. And there are other forms of arrest. It is say ya. Kofi case is say at the same. So that's here. At Kofi case that say. Bella Cassia little so no money a day. I mean last Saturday news file obi who say at the end so that's here. At the end sa state power noa. Yadiama Modi Aya Yamra Semono. And then all can want some say. Munkai hunu se mubebu hu akonta so fu se de wo ye no eye ni papa edu bra ye bu nkonta no a na wa kire ni papa mu obi anka so ohun ehun
FM
that's a we public officer na so bi ka wo se akonta bu wo ho a e de na wusuro aye na mane how so that's it because e bia wo refi hu nti o se ka wo aje code of conduct ye de mamu a e wo se nke bo mo nantie ne mo hihye ho ban e wo madwuma im ne adekwa no ya to atwe ne baabi niema ekoso nyina no kire se code of conduct no ye twere e ban ye keke so that sentie e kai mo se to mi ne ye dia mamu no enye mo amodia eye omanfo ne dia mamu na ye ma to mi a e ho nkuntabuo e wo ho
Very well. Yes, last one.
This Chief Justice Asemo Kofa Befrem na media Yemen Kakaba. Okay, Abakwasemo, Nebredi Kaya, Ye Chief Justice Bitua Kunyani. Where in our first republic, Uran Kroma, Chief Justice and your friend Justice Akokosa, Nesea Kunyamani Kofinti. But I felt I should set the record straight as a way of public education. But no than 10. Yakase yem protected the sanctity of the judiciary. And no interest will be a member of the judiciary. No one kasa yedem rano ashan and sano 1 to 2 year.
Who determines that?
And no say your constitution naturally acquire your first one will be ye sebi utemweni na wanye ne jume ya yem faso enye the engine free one. No na article 146 mebwa. I stated misbehavior, infirmity of the body or mind. And incompetence. What you say? In this your farm requires only a day you when you say you buy any any free office or for through the process. Now to mean any breach in the process now say no that will not qualify as a breaching the sanctity of the judiciary. And that is what I think honorable should know. Now the other issue about David Asando are someone more clearly. It cannot be the reason for his arrest. So Akotre said Dumso is back. Because Obi said Dumso is back no run a car any Akoche and the Obi said Kaukrauti and Kawasi Abechu. Because I'm saying Dumso by say Okabi. Nanabi Mujina police headquarters when you know more to Dumso do Adentini Anchi or Munina. So clearly that cannot. But
honorable Kwesiakwa Oshe or flag bearer statement or they are as a party member, no, you are aligned.
Yo Obi Michia Etiophonia Dina. MNJ sir, flag bearer issue statement sir. In fact, statement Okaya, the last 2 paragraphs and many ejihopa. Why be the pa last 2 paragraphs because
all one year amount for no.
Also 1 year amount for. Say yenuano NDC for no. Ebufu a wo mde share Ghana for mu. Nama Ghana for dodo ameto aba wo mo ankombeto aba ma MPP ameto aba ma NPP na ma omutiminya such majority our parliament no ase efufuom ewo mu se ebiso subi emma da
yes
then so omonkan hunu se eye nanka omunya vote dodo edi gina sa gina penya and na competitive medium sa abomobo and then nipa ameto abadudo na no enu omo ho enti omunye hu no se ahobrasie mu no awo se omubu man no ma ne so nipa nani enti eyom se enu ano no uko social media na upostu ekawasemu a atemu a yedi wo no echinse ya bechew wo mo so a yebetumi abeche wo mo no na yakwa akwache wo mo enti asene o kire bi ndi ho enti ehun be hia se yebe kai ye ho se ya amayofo se tumi na kura wo no eyobi na de ma wo na dachi sa tumi no esesa kai hu no se ubebu akonta because enye otumi wo no ene wo ye police ni wo ye security ni a ye kan ya pe na udimika akwache nipa no esan se ebi a show party atade ebi na se party bi de be mo adwuma ana wo ye no aso amafo ani no Dr. Bawumia edian say I therefore serve notice to officers of the state who are active participants in this unholy enterprise that the day of accountability will come and the abuse of state power will be accounted for. Sabi chia be mo am share kai mo no nyo na wa betru susu ntie o eye ebi etuo bi ekurawo ene abanye
uniform bi
ehyew iti hu se nya wa ho odin na wo de eye saade no eye oman tumi a ye de amawo no man tumi nso eye nyina ye de a ye de amawo atade ehyew no ne de odi hwehwe card be fine de ye ne tonfo iti no kai hu no se sa tumi ye de amawo no se we ya na wo de be ye de a enkoye na anu asem ni bia ye ba ba mu ozo onya hwe atwam ko ni ade no every incident will be investigated na ya hwese wo no a udi ekire yes ano wo bu hu nkonta 87 ye mawo instruction biya in quote ye mawo instruction fun biya e wo so tumi dwene hunhunu se dachi bi sa instruction ne de ama wo awutu hu na mo no wo bebu hu akonta eti eyemede se ye pani no e de ato wo sa na nne e wo krata so a e hye ye nkuran ma ye hunu se ye nkonko ye no nya hwe mu mananka ye mu bi no aka se ne ekoso nyina no ye ni etete ho cause ade ekoso de nya de foforo ye nua no mu andisifo ka de chinsa enne e wo ho se ye crime de a mo lawyer for say crime will expire
yes
o da se iti ehia se ye ntwen na ye mra ba mu na mo mekeke bi nkyira ye yansa ya so mu na no bi a ye wa ba mu de mo kan ya ye de ye ni tu ye se ya ma yo sam ne ye yo ye agro ne ye ne edi iti no mo no maka gu ho do mo ma social media daroma ye betimi akotwe no eno mo bebu hu akonta ene so de mo ye nso mo bebu hu akonta esa se ne se mo so bu de mra ena ye adwuma emra wo hoi entwem
yes
iti mani age me bo man pani abedi eche dada abaso incoming president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia me bo abaso say wagina asemi so no dia tudwa say mo state actors no am ye sa no mon kai hunu say eye tumi bi na mo de yesa nyama ho de nyama ho afa nyama sika bi aha edu po de nka de kai dem o mine sika o mine tumi bi na de ama wo na memfa abuse wo other people almost ye Ghana for
but so share in all the examples on our site your site mo Agona West organizer ne de no and site abronya de no
obi me so Agona West de no
yes
at saying okosi billboard ndo twa be post here
as we speak officially enim why he was arrested we don't know why he was arrested
yes
a narrative opposition element be free say enunti and ye say or ye post on social media.
That's it.
Which post was said to be publication of false news. And in the Ghana Police Service was a national security was and why will be unfair official statement
because of the why na channel
ye nim
no on maya ye wom na security force obuba ye adwuma musumu ye adwuma obi aye bone mo chi no various arms no bi antimi oni apo say me na me kwache no obi antimi oni apo say me na kwache no na adan na enye nwanwa ya ka say ye nua no mandisifo na enwanwa say adichi bia ne hu se ba epie for some time now na what you bia na bibia ba edeti abai no na eba beti abai ne wia the person ya de say ene ne ye nchew eti yaka to word mo say ai ade we asi a e wo say edi hu nkomo no enche be chi obi o ma wo say achiche no aya manafo ne ye nti mo chikura no a de wo say ye ka no ye be ka obehwemu a obi na wotu bia bibi foforo ba na no kura no enkoma enye de boa yen konsem ni bi wo hodo mu a o se nke di ba ebosume ade yen hwehwemu o se di ba ebosume ne ka ho asem Greater Accra Regional Minister semi yen kan wie you omo appeal say on resign because it borders on centric remarks no yen kan wie we haven't exhausted it yen timi exhausted ye analyzing something wie na bibi fufa bebom so that's here it is your ya say any e mechewu na yen hwesa attention na abekoho and the penny abekasa it is the same no just say any munya ready mo ba chie nyina e de ya
ba wo fa abronye de na a court of competent jurisdiction are remanded no and what are the
remanded is saying
so 2 weeks to reappear in court in 2 weeks time
na I started trial no I started case no
say we know I don't know if the same charges and as we a different one come the akoko those details no I don't
and only asem no so we are in the environment transparency adwuma I was say yetini ekoso bia ase eno no makwan ema abuse of power bia no eketeli and esutwa because ade na wo ye no uchirem na se ene omai mra no ebo ebra obia behu so to me nya wo dia o mamra kese ne se to me ne ye dia to me near idea. Dear the Mawa, and Yawa just see a dear Mawa to know the open, and I would hear. To bet me chin policy, bet me action. Sabe, Judicial no, I would to me dear, but you may be an also much. Also much him, which him one, the Panatia say, but yes, near quitting.
Yeah.
So that's it. Into no, Mebo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Baso, a presidential candidate, Wakasa, say, Obiara, Wuna, Usia say, with the state power and the year Jumano, Kahun's the state power, then you would dia. A bribi, Enche Biania Wabam, and then a Mumma Babam, a bedane.
Very well. Amas, my memra Ohona, Yenche, the statement from the MPP's flag bearer. Fair statement, no, and you're fair.
You will be made was a church for on the Obi. Okay, Ghana, you buy Fourth Republic. Yeah. Yeah, political leaders be brave, especially opposition leaders be brave. I see one thing Emma Dr. Bawumia ne conduct any you see any near in opposition as an opposition leader you below pano say he is not firm. He is easily pushed around. Into one say will be a war amanyo kumuno. You assembly or as a foot soldiers ano. Assembly or as a regional executive ano. Assembly or as a national executive ano. Assembly or as a former ministers ano. Assembly beba wo ye flag bearer wo de wano beba betum no. Not just assembly ye de edimu pa. But one thing about Dr. Bawumia, I think say M1 image as an opposition leader no ye say means rank ameka se ne sunu ne ban ne ya koye se atentenhu.
Adentia.
On one kasa as opposition leader, he doesn't have a sense of direction. Inti baby am from abeboni bia no na de nenam. Let me give you a typical example. On the nice miracles abo Jenny MPP social media for no she bibia say eye omukuku to na omukoye
the People's Forum
omukuku omukoye na branch bi koye se mahama wo de ye ka.
Yes.
And MPP for no e de ye jingle no mo born no mo kofa niema bebrede ye de ebam. Dr. Bawumia as leader ezi efu di djuma ya to yensa afre wo no ade a enkwankwa no de yi nsenkwaye ewo abefo ntentan fidie ne so no
dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.